Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Teofimo Lopez Jr. Teofimo Lopez Jr. states that if I fought Loma again, he'd get knocked out, and he knows it. Wow. Teofimo Lopez hasn't paid much mind to the comments Vasily Lomachencko recently made about their fight. The former three-time division champion told ESPN that watching his loss to Lopez repeatedly, Lomachencko is convinced that their 12-round, 135-pound championship match should have resulted in a draw. Lopez upset Lomachencko by unanimous decision October 17th to retain his IBF belt and won the WBA, the WBO, and the WBC franchise championship from the Ukrainian southpaw. Judges Tim Cheatham, Steve Weisfield, and Julie Letterman had it different scores: 116, 112, 117, 111, and Julie Letterman 119, 109. So, and 9 and 11 rounds respectfully for Lopez. Brooklyn's Lopez didn't feel the outcome of their fight warrants a second bout, and Lomachencko didn't have a rematch clause in his contract. Wow. And Lopez suspects Lomachencko's comments are just more evidence of him having difficulty dealing with the first his first decisive defeat. He says Loma, he finally took an actual loss for the first time in his whole career from amateur to pro, Lopez told a group of reporters. So he didn't know how to take a loss. You know, my whole thing is like the fact that, seeing the way he is and the way he's trying to move and all that, he's just someone that is a sore loser. That's all it is. I beat him clearly. And when I said, come on, and I said, step up to the plate, he backed down. So that goes to show, man. And if we were to fight again, I'll knock him out, and he knows it. I took his heart. Let me counterpunch. I do admit that Lomachencko started too slow. But once Lomachencko did actually start stepping up to the plate, so to speak, he was giving Lopez what he normally gives everyone else. The only difference was Lopez didn't fold under pressure. Now, so you have to give Lopez that. When Lopez started to get hit, he fought back. And in the middle rounds, I think those were Loma rounds. And I think the judges were off. I think the scorecards were off. Did Teofimo Lopez win? I think Lopez won, but I don't think he won by unanimous decision. I think it should have came down to the wire. I don't think it should have came down to unanimous decision. 8 rounds to 12, 9 rounds to 3, and I think it was 10 rounds to 2. I don't think it should have been like that at all. In fact, let me look at the scorecards. Yeah, these were way off. Okay, so something was funny with the scorecards to me. I think the judges got it wrong as far as how they scored the fight. I don't think they knew how to score a fight. But nonetheless, Lopez won by default because Lopez was the only one throwing punches in the first 3-4 rounds. I mean, maybe the second round Loma countered with a good straight left, but a one punch is not going to win you a round. So I don't know if Loma is bitter or not. I just know he felt that something wasn't right, just like I felt that something wasn't right. Did he lose? Yeah, he lost. But this is how you look at it. If you really want to put hard criticism on Teofimo Lopez, okay, I interviewed his father, Lopez Sr. And he told us, hey, he's going to get knocked out. We're going to knock this guy out. We're not going to leave it to the judges. These were the things that were said during the interview, okay? And what I noticed was none of that happened. I seen when Loma fought, mind you. I seen two guys that were taking it to each other. And I think because of the way Lopez Sr. promoted that fight, I was looking for those dynamic uppercuts, the right uppercut, especially since Loma's a southpaw. I was looking for those right uppercuts to drop Loma at least, just same like Linares did right? But that didn't happen. When those big shots did land on Loma, which a lot of them didn't land. His defense was too on point for those. The 12th round, I think he hurt Loma, but he didn't drop Loma. He didn't knock Loma out. So it didn't come down to, hey, we have to knock this guy out. We're not going to leave it to the judges. It just so happened the judges were in their favor that night. And I think to Lomachenko Jr., Lopez Jr., and he's saying, well, hey, he would get knocked out again, and he knows it. I mean, that fight was on the table. Loma's mistake, business-wise, they should have had a rematch clause. Now, I will say this. Bob Arum should have knew better if he wanted to favor, because they were both of his fighters. They're still both fighters of top rank, but, Lomachenko, that's his fault. And Lopez has every right to do exactly what he's doing. And he has every right to do what he was doing, but the reason why he hasn't fought him again because he's afraid he'll get knocked out. That's bullshit. The reason he's not fighting him again because Lopez don't want to fight him again. Also, the reason why he thinks he outpointed him due to the judges, that doesn't warrant the reason why you don't want to fight him again. The reason you don't want to fight him again is because you thought before the negotiations, that Loma was a diva, and you're giving him a piece of your own medicine like you admitted. So stop. You just decided not to fight Lomachenko because you didn't want to give him the satisfaction of getting the rematch. You wanted to leave that whole scenario with a win. That's the true reason. So if we're going to really talk about the reasons why, that's what it is. He acted like a diva. He insulted his father. He acted like he was better than him. Those are the reactions and the comments that were made by Team Lopez about Team Lomachenko, that they were kind of uppity, snobbish, and they thought they were better than them. And then when they won the decision, they're like, and they got out of the dodge, right? They got out of dodge. So I think Loma saying that, hey, it was a draw or whatever, I mean, that's just how he sees it, but I think Lopez saying, oh, he'll get knocked out again and he knows it, that's just capping at that point, because if you were going to do that, if you were sure of that, you would have fought him again. But of course, he didn't fight him again because of what I said before, because of, the way that Lomachenko treated them during the negotiations. Okay. And let me leave you guys with this. Him saying, hey, he would get knocked out. Just one word that describes that: overkill. Capping, right? Because if you're not going to fight him, what's the point? It's just capping at that point. You're just talking for bragging rights. Because if you don't, and you're not going to fight Lomachenko, why are we even having this conversation? So the whole article, that Teofimo saying, talking about, right, is pointless. Hey, he'll get knocked out again. The truth of the matter is, we don't know how that fight would have went, because you didn't see him hurt Loma early. You didn't. You seen hard punches landed, but you didn't see Loma like that. Now you can argue that Lomachenko felt those punches, and that's why he didn't fight, because the big question mark is, people, why didn't Loma throw punches? Or should I say, why didn't he throw more punches? He was just picking his shots. He was just downloading, information. But at the same time, he did not throw punches. So you could say that, but if I'm Lomachenko, if I'm Lopez and I say something like that, I'm going to be prepared to back it up. That's the Lopez that I know, not the one that talks shit and just moves on to the next fighter. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Lopez saying that he would knock out Lomachenko if they fought again. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.